Welcome into Sportsballogy. Today, we're going to talk about the Kansas City Chiefs winning the Super Bowl. We're going to talk about how the Oakland A's ownership, to me anyways, is a freaking joke. And then how Caitlin Clark absolutely shattered an NCAA record and cemented herself into basketball history.
We're also going to be talking to Legacy Maker Sports founder Darrell Owens. And Randy's going to talk to us about card jitsu. I'm actually quite excited to hear what that is.
I have no idea.
Yeah,
it's going to be great.
That sounds right up my alley.
We'll be right back. Welcome back. All right, let's get this thing started, man.
Oh,
yeah. First of all, I'm so glad to be back.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
It has been a minute. Our lives have been chaos.
Yeah.
And so, but it's nice to be back. I am excited for the interview with Legacy Maker owner, founder, amazing, awesome person, Darrell Owens.
Yeah.
But first, let's get into today's sports stories. And obviously we can't talk about sports stories without talking about how the Kansas City Chiefs won the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah. You mean the Kansas City Swifts?
Kansas City Swifts, yes.
Yeah.
All hail Taylor Swift.
All hail.
Which, all jokes aside, I am a diehard Swiftie. Like, that's not even a joke.
I'm indifferent. I like how everybody's getting their panties in a knot over it. I find it hilarious.
Yeah, she makes incredible music. I can't help it. And my walk-up song when I played baseball was 22 by Taylor Swift because of the fact that I wore 22. So, yeah, I'm just saying. But yeah, so anyways, the Kansas City Chiefs pulled out an incredible overtime win against the San Francisco 49ers, 25-22. Pat Mahomes went off. It was awesome. He ended up throwing a 3-yard touchdown pass to McCole Hardman to kind of seal the win. And it was just really awesome. The game was really sloppy and kind of messy, and I'm gonna be honest, I was buried deep in chili during the game. But yeah, overall it was fun to watch. I really enjoyed it.
One of my favorite things to do, and I will watch the Super Bowl from time to time. I usually do. And not just for the commercials. I'll give football its one day a year. And this time I didn't. And I lived in Kansas City on a couple of different occasions. And so I was sitting there playing my game and whatnot, and every now and then I check the score. And I was like, okay, it's 3-10. Okay, they're tied. Oh, they're going into overtime. And one of my favorite things is just imagining what my favorite bars in Kansas City, what the scene is like, and how crazy it's going when they win on the overtime. And yeah, I can only imagine, because when Patrick Mahomes won with them the first time, there were so many fireworks set off, you could see it from the Weather Channel radar. Like this ring around Kansas City. But yeah, that's one of my favorite things. Just
Yeah, credit where credit's due, and Randy put it in the ticker as well. Nickelodeon also had coverage of the Super Bowl,
really,
and it was almost more fun to watch than the actual Super Bowl. And they had animations of fake fake SpongeBob celebrities because it was held in Bikini Bottom.
Okay.
And I don't remember exactly, but they had a Snoop Dogg parody. They had Taylor Swift parody, and SpongeBob and Patrick did play-by-play. It was incredible.
He snapped the ball menacingly.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So yeah, that was a good time. Taylor Swift got her, Super Bowl in the first year, something the Cowboys haven't been able to do since ever. Menacing look in the camera. So yeah, and honestly, if you're a Kansas City sports fan, there's a lot to be happy about right now. They also got a brand new ballpark. They got the renderings, they got everything. All they're waiting is on final approval, and it's looking like they're going to get it. And the Kansas City Royals are going to have a new ballpark, which is very exciting to me, but also irritates the absolute crap out of me. Because for those that don't know me, my rabbit hole that like I always tend to go down is like new sports stadiums.
Yeah.
Because I love, like, I'm just fascinated with it. Like, I like the architecture that's involved. I like, you know, how does it operate? What are the aesthetics? Like all that different stuff. So like I'm all about like new stadiums and what it looks like.
Well, we got timeout.
We do have a timeout. What do we got? The children's broadcast also created fish versions of celebrity, including Clamuel Jackson, Doja Catfish, Billie Eilish, LeBron James, Finn Diesel, Herring Styles, Oprah Winfrey were also spotted in the crowd. That was fun as hell to read. That was good. But yeah, and you know, so you know, just to back up on the Super Bowl, yeah, that's what you know. The Nickelodeon broadcast was hilarious. But yeah, so I need to go on a rant a little bit.
Oh please.
Okay.
I did mine last week. You get yours this week.
So okay, so the Kansas City Royals, they get this. You know, they release these renderings. It's beautiful, Randy. If you want to slap them up there on the screen, and Chris, you can take a look at how beautiful this place looks. So they still kept the fountains. You being from Kansas City, I'm sure that you know that the ballpark there has fountains in the outfield. Sure, absolutely.
Sure.
But they're gonna move it downtown, and that to me looks like a great ballpark.
Yeah.
Like, and so a couple weeks before this, the White Sox also said that they were gonna get a new ballpark. Okay. Randy, if you want to flip one page. This thing looks, I honestly prefer this one over the Kansas City Royals one. Nothing against the Royals one. I just like the futuristic look of this guy. That, and they kept a lot of the, like, you know, origins of the White Sox. I'm not going to go into that too much, but the reason I bring this up, okay, is because the Oakland Athletics have been trying to get a new stadium for as long as I have been alive, if not longer. Okay. And they continuously dragged their feet. They said that they were going to move to Las Vegas, and they still don't have any renderings of what their ballpark's going to look like. You just saw two other teams have beautiful renderings.
How long did it take them to get those renderings?
Just a couple weeks. Like,
okay.
Boom, like they're up there.
We're going to do it. This is what it's going to look like.
This is what it's going to look like. Yeah, you know, boom, 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 done. Right. The Oakland Athletics. Still, they said that they were going to move to Las Vegas. They got approved to move to Las Vegas.
So see, this is also the team that is famous for Moneyball. So maybe they're cutting corners on the rest of their salaries.
I don't know. And then, so here's the other thing about that. It's funny that you bring up Moneyball because so they claim that if they get this new ballpark in Las Vegas, which they supposedly are going to put on 9 acres of land, which just for some retrospect, the smallest ballpark in the majors right now sits on 10 acres.
Okay.
And so they're going to go an acre short of that and manage to have 30,000 seats.
Does that acreage include the parking lot?
No, that is just the ballpark, just the stadium.
Okay, is it going to be like quintuple decker? Like
I don't know,
300 feet high.
That is a great question, of which the Oakland Athletics refuse to freaking answer.
They don't have renderings, so we don't know.
They don't have renderings. We have no idea what this ballpark is going to look like, and like
this gonna be like Simpsons monorail vibes,
dude.
You know?
Oh my goodness, and then it's funny that you mentioned Moneyball, right? Because they're famous for cutting costs on their players, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, essentially like, we're going to find cheaper players to win. And so they are famous for, developing this talent and then trading them all away because they can't afford them anymore.
Right.
They claim that by moving to Las Vegas, they're going to up their salary from about $75 million a year to $175 million a year. So you're telling me that you're going to move to a ballpark that you don't have renderings for, you have no idea what it's going to look like, you have no idea when it's going to be built, although you say it's supposed to be built by 2028. And then, and I'll go further into it because I'm sure you'll have more questions. Their lease expires on their current stadium in 2024.
I was about to ask.
So where the heck do you play from 2025 to 2028 when your stadium that we have no idea what it's going to look like is being built?
Do they not have an answer for that?
They don't have an answer for that.
I thought you were going to tell us that during
Nope.
I just read over the notes before the show.
Nope.
I was totally expecting that. Oh my God.
So
what are you guys doing?
Hold on. Before he shows us, so Randy called timeout and said, I found a render of their new stadium. So they released renderings of their stadium. And I guarantee you, if Randy pulls it up, this is before they were told that they were only allowed to build on 9 acres of land.
Okay.
And so when you look at the picture, oh God, that's hilarious. That's so funny. I was not expecting that. I'm glad that that was way better than I thought that he was going to do. Because yeah, so they do have renderings, but they told them to throw them away in the trash because it doesn't matter, because that's not what the ballpark's going to look like, because it's on more than freaking 9 acres of land.
Yeah.
And so like, but you're telling me that you're going to build a brand new stadium and you're going to have to pay the mortgage of that stadium off, and you're going to pay $100 million more per year on players.
Yeah.
That just doesn't make sense to me.
And Vegas is cool with this?
So Vegas approved $300 million of taxpayer money.
It's always taxpayer money.
Always taxpayer money to go towards this $1 billion ballpark.
I'm surprised it wasn't more, to be honest. I'm surprised they didn't put the whole $1 billion.
I'm surprised too, but not only that, but if you, so the mayor of Las Vegas has said that they don't want them. And
so then what? Can they not cancel the contract then?
So the thing is that
can they not buy them out?
The strip of Las Vegas is technically not in Las Vegas.
Oh,
so therefore, the mayor actually has no say in whether this ballpark gets built or not.
That's great.
But the mayor doesn't want them. And if you ask most of the fans out there, they don't want the Oakland A's either, strictly just because of the fact that the ownership group has proven time and time again that they are not going to try to win.
Right.
Yeah. So this is the other rendering that I was talking about. That is obviously more than 9 acres.
This is the this is the original. Oh,
so,
yeah, there's a Luxor back in the background. Okay.
So that entire plot of land is like what they so that entire plot of land is owned by a company called Bally's. Okay. And Bally's said you can have a corner and you can have a 9-acre corner, and that's it. And so before they got told that, they released that rendering, and now the Oakland A's are like, yeah, we can't do that because that's more than 9 acres.
Yeah.
So
what they should do is they should have the baseball field, and then they should build like the wall around it, but just have one row of seats for 30,000 people all the way up. Right? And that way, like if you're on the top, like you're on the down looking with the telescope, so you can see them. Yeah, I think that's totally the best way.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's the most efficient.
Yeah, there's no other logical way to build a ballpark.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the reason I bring that up is, the news side of that is that the Kansas City Royals and the Chicago White Sox, they're trying to get new stadiums. It's awesome. But on the Oakland Athletics side, like, where the heck are they going to play?
So is this because Oakland doesn't have any, like the Oakland A's don't have any money, or are they just dragging their feet? Like, what's going on?
And no one really knows. And so, like, I've been down this rabbit hole for so freaking long, and like everyone who covers this doesn't have an answer. Because it seems like the A's are dragging their feet. Major League Baseball will give them a deadline and then be like, oh, you didn't hit that deadline? It's fine. We'll just give you a new deadline.
So what you're saying is that we should find the owner of the Oakland A's,
John Fisher,
and kneecap him.
I wish.
Okay.
Because let me tell you, it's been a joke of a franchise for years. Like I'm really big into owners that want to win. Yeah. I'm not going to sit here and say that you have to spend Dodger money, who just dropped $500 million on Shohei Ohtani. I'm not saying that you got to spend, Mets money, because they had the largest payroll in baseball last year. But like, for example, the Baltimore Orioles had 101 wins last year, and we're in the bottom 5 of payroll. Like, they're trying to win. They're trying to build something, they're trying to create something there in Baltimore. The Atlanta Braves are really good at not spending a ton of money but remaining competitive. Like, that's all I want from an ownership group. And
it makes you wonder if that ownership group owns other stuff and is using the A's as a loss for their taxes. Like, dude, I work in taxes, and like that's in investigations and crap. So that's not like with stuff that goes through my mind. It's like, are they just gaming the system? Like, what are they doing?
I genuinely don't know, but it irks my nerves.
Yeah.
Just because of the fact that it's like you have a sports franchise. In my opinion, your obligation as the owner should be to try to win.
Yeah.
And just for your fans, if nothing else, you've got to give your fans something to come to the ballpark for.
Is this a real life Wild thing?
I mean,
the owners trying to move the team, and they might try to make them suck so they can move the team.
Hey, maybe.
We need Charlie Sheen on the phone staff.
But yeah, I mean, it's just it's irritating. But yeah, and so, in other words, I guess to sum this all up, the Oakland Athletics, this is me saying that I am on the fan side, and I need the ownership group to sell and kick rocks, because
right.
This is ridiculous. Like, either you build a new stadium, you don't build a new stadium. It doesn't matter.
Well, it's gonna matter if they don't have a new one, because they're out on their ass this year.
That's true. I don't know where they're gonna play. I really don't. But yeah, I feel bad for that fan base. I really do.
Yeah.
Because
I used to be part of it. That's actually one of the only stadiums I went to see them play back when it was like McGuire and all them during the money. I didn't realize that's what it was when I was watching them.
Yeah.
Like 8 or 9 years old. But yeah, I actually got to see them in that stadium. I'm assuming that was that stadium.
Yeah, I mean, they've really only in Oakland. I think that's been their only home.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, I mean I mean, the stadium seems like it'd be fun to watch a game there. Like, it's kind of got this like we're all in this together kind of thing. Yeah, I mean, I really like that stadium. It's got old vibes to it. It's cool. But moving on, I do, so as someone who covers women's basketball, specifically college basketball, women's college basketball, I have to acknowledge the greatness that is Caitlin Clark, even though she absolutely destroyed my Hokies earlier this year.
Yeah.
I mean, good God. So she plays for Iowa, and she passed former record holder Kelsey Plum, who scored 3,527 points over 139 games when she played at Washington. Clark absolutely destroyed Michigan. I probably should have, put. Actually, I did. I forgot that I did that.
Wait, who scored the 3,500 points?
Kelsey Plum. Clark beat that. And she eclipsed the game against Michigan in like the early first quarter.
Okay.
Right? She pulled up from the logo, like the logo on center court.
Yeah.
Shot a three, drained it. Absolutely drained it.
What's her point total then?
So at the end of this game, I'm not 100% sure where she ended, but she didn't finish breaking records with just that one. So she would go on to break her career high of 46 and score 49 points in this game. Yeah, absolutely went off. She had 13 rebounds, 5 assists, and the Hawkeyes ended up winning 106-89.
How many more games do they have this season?
Quite a few.
I was going to say, man, we looked it up earlier right before this, and that 35-27, I thought that was Clark's point total, but that's the total that she beat.
That's the total that she beat.
To put that in perspective, the top 2 scoring guys were 3,600 and some odd. So she could actually very well end up demolishing the men's, and that's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that I'm pretty sure they have like 3 or 4, but of the season games. But if I remember correctly, any NCAA tournament stuff that they play in also counts towards those records.
Well, even so, because like, what is it? 35-27, and he's at what, 36-67?
36-67.
That's 140 points.
Yeah,
if she has another couple 50-point games.
Yeah, I mean, and she scored 49, and she had 35, 27. So I mean, she's sitting right at 36.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you're right. Yeah, a couple more, close to 50-point games, and she's got the all-time record in NCAA history.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like, period, between men, women, doesn't matter. Caitlin Clark is a basketball god at this point.
Yeah.
And I mean, just the fact that she was able to do that is ridiculous.
You think she's going to do like an opposite of Joanna Man, where she's going to dress up like a dude trying to get in the NBA? I mean, she's good enough to do it, obviously.
Dude, she's gonna dominate the WNBA. I don't know where she's gonna go, but
just invest in that team. Is what we're saying.
Yeah, whoever gets the first round draft pick in the WNBA is going to be in good hands for a while.
They would probably start fighting to be the absolute worst this year at that point. Then
that's what I mean. If you're at the bottom of the totem pole in the WNBA, are you not tanking right now? Yeah. Like, I mean, I'm just saying, like, if you need Caitlin Clark, and if you're the worst team in the world at WNBA, like, I mean, my God, I mean, she's gonna be baller. And what's funny is so Liz Kitley on the Virginia Tech Hokies is arguably gonna go right after Caitlin Clark, because of the fact that she is not necessarily points wise, but I mean, she's a 6'6" center. So you get a girl like Caitlin Clark, and then you have someone like Liz Kitley, who's a 6'6" center. No one is going to beat you at that point, because you got to pick who you're going to guard. Yeah. Are you going to guard Caitlin Clark and then pass it into your 6'6" center who's just going to lob it in there, or are you going to guard a 6'6" center and then you're going to have to deal with a 3-point hitting
for the next Steph Curry?
Yeah, like.
That's the guy that's really good at shooting threes.
That is correct.
Okay.
Yeah, you absolutely nailed that. Like, absolutely, yes. All right. Well, I think that about does it for our sports stories today. When we come back, we're gonna do
Card-Jitsu!
It's gonna be awesome. We'll be right back. Hi guys, it's Chris, Joey, and Randy with Sportsballogy. Have you ever thought to yourself, man, I have money and nothing to throw it at? How about, I'm really tired of owning 15 yachts? Well, how about you put that money to good use and sponsor your own sportsbologist today? For only insert amount here, you can help protect our sportsbologists from becoming even more ignorant about what goes on in the world of sports. From basketball, baseball, football, or any balls for that matter, you can make a difference today. Take it away, Chris.
Thanks, Joey. You know, sports blindness is a serious affliction, but for the same cost as just cups of coffee, you can sponsor a sportsbologist today. We'll send you a brochure with their birthday and other fun facts while you watch them learn and grow. Look at this puppy. Look at this little kitty. Won't you sponsor a sportsbologist today?
Whoa, Joe's going crazy. Joe has gone insane
this show
on the camera.
Balls already.
Oh, always, as it goes.
Bonkers.
Now, before we continue, I'm going to warn all of our viewers, I just had a long day at work, so I might sound really crazy and full of energy. What's going on, everybody?
Oh God, I think Randy was throwing the rails off camera.
Oh
no!
I mean, we don't talk about off camera, you know. What happens off camera stays off camera, you know.
Oh yeah, off camera. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, come on. We were just talking about Vegas too. Like, what are you doing? All right, so we are here to talk about the wonderful sport of Card-Jitsu.
I'm so excited. I'm not even
now, we're going to start off with a basic little thing. I know Chris probably has a bit more understanding on this one. Do you know what Jiu-Jitsu is, Joe?
Yes.
Cool. For those of you at home who don't, we're going to start there. Jiu-jitsu is a form of martial arts based primarily around wrestling. And when you think of like people who wrestle, it's kind of the same idea, except in this case, it's a lot more focused on the positioning of you wrestling someone else. So things like full guard and half guard are going to be terms I use, for example. And full guard is when you have yourself fully on top of someone and they're unable to move entirely because of how you have them put wrestled. I don't know the correct term, but you know.
Yeah, I will say, from what I understand, jujitsu is like judo, rather, is a less lethal form of jujitsu. Jujitsu was a martial arts that was, if I remember correctly, was from Japan. And then when they ended up having less lethal stuff for tournaments and stuff, that became judo. So yeah, it's a lot of wrestling.
Yep. Specifically in certain things, another big piece of it's going to be submissions. If you're an MMA fan at all, a lot of the chokehold positions and things like that are based directly out of jiu-jitsu training. So like when you have someone in an arm guard and you got their arm pulled in a certain way, and if they move a single inch, you're gonna break their arm right on the spot. That's a jiu-jitsu move. It's a part of the wrestling on the mat to make your opponent submit due to pain or dismemberment in certain cases, but hopefully not in MMA.
Have you ever seen somebody's arm get broken with that move before?
No, and I hope to never, because I get grossed out really easily.
It didn't break his elbow, dude. It broke right here.
Dude, I'm gonna just put it this way. I don't want to know. I'm good. Like,
you know how your arm bends at a 90-degree angle?
See that in my life, I would be content. I'm good. Like, I could never be a doctor because that crap grosses me out.
So just imagine your arm bending at the 90-degree angle it does, but backwards, and you got a good idea what's going on here.
I'm good.
So now that we've established jujitsu, here's where karjitsu comes in. Karjitsu is a competitive form of jujitsu that takes place in a car. I know that's kind of like the no-brainer situation here. You know what I mean?
I've got so many questions, but I'm going to let you go to your next sentence first.
I'm just going to... Admittedly, you're probably going to have to ask more in this case because the research on my end is all observational.
Are we having two cars fight each other, or are we having a jiu-jitsu match in the back of a car while it's going around a track?
Okay, the car isn't moving is actually a very good place to start. So the car is just that's actually a good. In fact, I don't even know what that would look like with the car moving. That would be crazy. That's extreme car jujitsu. I think we're on to something. We'll talk about this later.
Okay, so like that opening scene in Deadpool. It would look like
yes, actually. I hate to admit that's a very good example of what this looks like.
After the episode, I will show you the first 5 minutes of Deadpool because it is fast. It is the literal first 5 minutes of Deadpool.
Well, and look up a karjitsu episode or a clip afterwards, because I kid you not, like that's a really good comparison to what I'm talking about. So you have your two competitors, and it usually breaks up into 2 rounds. Or actually, it breaks up into 4 rounds technically, but I'll get into that in a moment. We're gonna start with these first 2. The first 2 rounds start in the front seat, right? In round 1, both people have to start buckled, and you have to unbuckle when the timer starts and immediately start wrestling in this car.
I have seen this. I didn't know that's what that was called.
Yeah, karjitsu.
I can imagine just like sitting peacefully, just waiting, and then all of a sudden,
yes, yeah, that's this, and something that makes it a bit different compared to regular jujitsu is the fact that you can use the car. Like that's kind of the idea. I actually saw a clip. It was a highlight. It was one of my favorites. But they're wrestling each other, and they, like when you're in the passenger seat of a car, there's like the foot area.
Yeah.
So a common strategy is trying to shove the other person into that foot area because it restricts your movement and you can pretty much do whatever you want at that point.
Yeah.
Well, one guy's getting shoved into this little foothold area, and the other guy, the victim of this, I guess, he pulls open the glove compartment, shoves the other guy's hand in it, and shuts the glove compartment.
Oh my God.
That
And,
sounds epic.
So this is like a Jason Bourne fight in
in a car, yeah. Like what? Like there are, as far as I could tell, it's kind of a newer sport. They've had 10 official tournaments so far. And out of the 10, actually, I want to point this out first off. Out of the 10, 9 of them have been won by the guy who made it up, which I think is such shit. Sorry, pardon my language, my bad.
They find out he could beat his friends up in his car. Like, you know, let's make it a sport.
Let's make a whole sport out of this. I'm gonna keep doing it though.
He's trying to get gas money, and he said no, and he's like, they're beating his ass. Like, oh, we can make money this way. They'll watch me. They don't want me to watch you.
But the other thing,
car for each time. So like that one guy that slammed his hand in the glove compartment, is the glove compartment ruined for the next set of fighters?
no, it's just back in play. They shut it and put the car back to normal once you're done.
If the glove compartment because like, okay, let's say the glove compartment's open, somebody kicks it down and breaks it. Are they using that same car for the next set of fighters? And so that set of fighters does not have the glove compartment.
I would actually say yes. I don't think it's intentionally that way.
Right.
It's probably just the fact they can't get a ton of cars. Like if, because it seems like a much lower funded type of event. Because I hear you on that. I guess there's not like an official rule that I could tell.
Are they allowed to start with their seats in the position? Like they have their seats all the way back, or they have to be right up on the front?
Right up. So you're sitting straight up, sitting position. Yeah, and that's actually where round 2 comes in. I'm happy you brought that up because round 2 that lets them switch, right? And that's when round 3 comes in because round 3, in case there's a tie, brings it to the back seat.
Oh,
and so if you can get a double, and you do have to win 3 and 4 to still win, but it starts you in that new position, so it is a bit of a different thing. And then if that ends up losing, I think they do a diagonal fight. I saw it on a few clips, but I wasn't like, admittedly, they didn't have a lot of articles, so I'm doing a lot of this based on observation.
Right.
And they didn't have a lot of context to why these 2 individuals were fighting diagonally. So I'm gonna fill in. I would assume that's what it is. It's the tiebreaker.
The first image that comes to my mind is someone grabbing the back of another person's head and just into the steering wheel. Beep, beep,
Oh, God.
beep, beep.
I think the horns are removed. Now that you say that, actually,
That is a load of crap.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, because there were certainly like steering wheel fights. Like that was a big part of it. Like again, you'll see them wrap arms into the steering wheel to like pull them a certain direction, and like it's a game of control.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to control, you're gonna get control whatever car part you need. Seat belts were a major factor in most of the wins. Like
instead of undoing mine, catch his while he's undoing his, just wrap it around his neck real quick.
Damn straight.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
That's pretty
I don't know why I'm swearing so much. My apologies for our younger audience. I will watch my tongue.
Like there was a story about these 2 guys that wanted to duel each other, and they were going to duel each other to the death, and they were going to do it with knives, and they paid some taxi cab driver to drive them around town while they had a knife fight to the death in the back seat.
Wait a second. Okay, wait. Whoa. This was not in my notes. What?
Yeah, no, it was a real story from like the mid 1800s where these 2 guys they wanted to fight, and one of them was like a way better skilled fighter. He's the one that won, obviously. But yeah, like there was like, these crazy duels I was reading about, but they paid a taxi cab driver to drive them around town while they had a knife fight to the death in the back seat.
Is this like horse-drawn carriages type deal?
I don't know. The way it sounded like it was a car, but it could have been.
That's insane.
I was gonna say both have like so many implications.
No,
like
my favorite one. I know my favorite is off topic, but my favorite duel was the guys that kept trying to kill each other and they couldn't. So they finally decided, hey, I'm going to go up in a hot air balloon, and you're going to go up in a hot air balloon, and they're going to try to shoot each other's balloons. But they didn't know how to fly hot air balloons, so they got pilots. So now you had 2 people.
Yeah, I actually saw that. I read about that whole situation. The fact they did end up hiring 2 pilots, didn't they end up having to cancel after a certain?
From what I saw, one of them, like the 2 people that lost, died.
That's so.
Oh my gosh!
I just know the battle happened, but I'm pretty sure that the guy that lost, his pilot died.
Well, if you
I'm kind of here to
comment in the section right now.
Tell us now.
Comment down below.
Did these 2 gentlemen die in a hot air balloon duel? Let us know.
No balloon fighting. That's hilarious. Oh
So
god.
I think we might need to Karjitsu each other sometime.
I'm out. I'm good.
No.
I don't want to fight. I'm peace.
So,
You got a new car. Let's Karjitsu in yours.
oh yeah, I definitely got a new car. We'll talk about that later. That all being said,
Yeah.
one thing I will point out too that's kind of fun is so there are 2 scoring methods, kind of. During a match, the match you're in is determined by submission. Every time you can earn points along the way, and points are earned in jujitsu and in karjitsu in the same way, where like certain positions that show that you have this other person like held correctly will give you a point. So if for example one of them was knee to stomach, right? So you have this person wrapped up, your knee is in their stomach, so you have like that whole push of your leg against them, you will get a point for knee to stomach, you know? But the points don't matter in the final match because the whole goal is to make the other person submit. Here's where the points come in. So they have a whole season, right? They have their season of karjitsu. The finale is based on the person who had the most submissions versus the person who had the most points.
Okay.
And whoever ends
NASCAR, like the wins aren't as important as the points.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The points matter in the long run, but while you're in the match, they don't add up to anything, technically speaking.
Right.
And again, ironically, the guy who made it up for a couple of years was the guy with the most points and the most submissions. Isn't that crazy?
I think we need to look into the dude's past and see how many people he beat up in a car before he started this.
It is I don't know about his past, but I will say in his career as a karjitsu person, it is a shocking amount of people.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, if you made it up, obviously you gotta be the best at it.
Like, do they do it by weight? Would you have like a 200-pound guy versus a 400-pound dude? Because 200-pound guy might have an advantage in this situation.
That's true.
It didn't seem like it, but something that actually fights against your point is the bigger guy would have a lot less mobility in a small space.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's usually, the bigger, the more weight, you have a better advantage, but I don't think that would be the case in this.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I couldn't tell that there was one, and again, I hate that a lot of this is observational in this one specifically because there just wasn't enough info, but it was just so intriguing.
What kind of cars do they take place in? Like, are these like little tiny Eclipses or something?
No, they're like sedans, like a regular, like not a luxury sedan, but like like a Ford.
Doesn't work anymore.
like a Ford Focus, like that type of car. Like nothing huge, but it definitely has enough room for you to fight in.
Yeah.
I think they should have elevator jitsu.
Elevator jitsu.
That actually is a really crazy good idea.
Out of each other. When you get to the top, we'll see who won.
You have 2 rounds, 1 up, 1 down.
I was thinking while I was watching it, my brain popped to scuba jitsu.
Okay.
And they're
the dude's mask.
Yeah. You gotta like try to like drown each other basically, but like it would be a crazy fight. Like if we're talking weird, crazy fighting. Imagine some dude comes to rob the karjitsu like master, right?
You can combine karjitsu in the lake, and then you got to beat your opponent and escape the car.
I mean, admittedly, that's like a majority of the info I have on this one. I do highly recommend that if you are looking for another weird niche sport, as I love to bring you, karjitsu was a specifically very good rabbit hole. I found there's a ton of content, a ridiculous amount of clips to go off of, which is why it's very funny to me that they don't have like actual backed up info, you know, because
That's
we're talking hours of content.
That's so funny.
Yeah, people from around the world participate in this. There was one specifically. It was the U.S. Championship, and they're just pulling new people in. And they said, "Yeah, we got this guy from Russia, and he's like a 5th degree black belt in jiu-jitsu. He's like, if anyone can take the guy who made this up out, it's him. And he might have some new Russian techniques." Gets his ass handed to him in like 2 minutes. It was
fair. They probably did this in an American car, and the American had home field advantage.
It's what it was, like, quite literally. And the guy in the interview's like, yeah, that wasn't really fair. If I had more expertise in this, I would have done better,
That's so funny.
And yeah, it was
play for.
Oh yeah, dude, I'd be down for that.
That would be so
down for that.
Ironically, the guy who does their play-by-play is also super solid. As the match continues, it's this bald guy who introduces the matches to begin with. I didn't get a name, but he's a part of every single one of them, right? Like, he was like the one consistent thing. And he was a very good announcer. Like every little bit of it, he would explain the exact type of hold that they were being put into. Oh, this guy got the knee to elbow point. Not only that, but he has him in a shock and lock hold. Like,
I'm blocking and dropping here.
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously, I'm not up to date on my terminology, but long story short. I love weird niche things that have really good announcers behind them, and that really helped make this something that I could watch and made it really accessible to me. So if you're looking for something, that's a really good spot to start.
So you implied that the guy that created this has won most of his fights. That implies that somebody has beat him before.
He may be undefeated still. I'm actually gonna look it up. In the clips I was watching, he was undefeated.
Okay.
Car Jitsu.
Somebody should go after the seatbelt first.
Creator
I guess,
record.
like theoretically, that would probably be the best way to do it. Would just be go after the seatbelt, but like
then you're stuck in yours while yeah. So
unless you could like undo yours while grabbing theirs,
you have to do it like this. Like grab theirs, undo yours with your cross hand.
Yeah.
And then slip it out and get them. Which, I mean, you could. Or do they allow elbows? Just like start elbowing the dude while you're...
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
Elbows and sorry, I'm looking for the guy who made it real quick. But yeah, no elbows, no fists. I could tell there wasn't like a lot of punching. A lot of it was certainly more based around the actual jiu-jitsu wrestling. But elbows, I guess, seem to be a part of jiu-jitsu, so I would assume that's the reason they were thrown more.
Well, most of your power from punches comes from your hips, and turning in a car like that is much more difficult.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so the creator of it, his name is oh my gosh, this is a Russian name. I'm gonna butcher this so bad. It's oh my gosh, Vikenty Mikiv. Vikenty Mikiv.
Yeah. I'll give you that.
And I will say, they don't have his actual Karjitsu record, so I would assume he's still undefeated. But he is 3-1 in MMA as well.
Okay.
Just to put it out there.
Just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
He also fights MMA.
He's like, you know what? This ring is too open for me.
I need the car. The car. Well,
car.
now that I think about it, he's 3-1.
Can you throw your opponent out the window and win that way?
No, that is another thing. You cannot exit the car. So if that happens, they no. Like if that ends up happening, they reset the match.
So if you're losing, open the door and push him out.
Kinda, yeah. And they also had one or two I saw where they would like break a windshield, for example.
Okay.
That's where I can answer your previous car question. They do have multiple cars on site to continue matches through.
Okay.
I would assume they get them from junkyards or something, because it doesn't seem like the cars themselves are that functional.
I think it's my ex-stepdad, I guess, owned a junkyard. And so whenever the monster truck races would come through and whatnot, they would get them from us. So I went to those all the time. But yeah, that's probably exactly
Fair
what's
enough.
going on. They probably
Yeah.
went down and said, "Hey, I will give you $100 for that car that doesn't run." I'm like, okay.
Yeah, and it's not like the cars ever look too bad, you know. Like as far as the actual, like, you know, the broken car, I guess
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
more on
unless
the
it's
inside.
total, like it's probably in the junkyard because like the drivetrain is busted. Who cares? You're not driving it anyway.
Now that's the sketchier version that we've been looking for. They need to do crashed car jujitsu.
Yeah.
And all the edges and everything. That would be some bloody good time, I'll tell you right now.
Literally bloody good times. Hey, speaking of bloody good times, when we come back, we are going to do an interview with Legacy Maker Sports Network owner and founder, Darrell Owens.
I'm
It's
super
going to
excited
be
about
awesome, and it's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to it, and we'll see you on the other side of the break.
that.
Hell yeah. Bye, everybody.
Leads us on to our second focus point, the role of our hands. Now we're going to adopt one of two positions. The first is the W position. Thumbs together, palms facing up in order to make a W. We use the W position when we track the ball and think it's going to arrive above our chest. The second is the M position. Use the fingers together, palms facing down in order to make an M.
Did you know you're supposed to make a W when you catch?
It's important to keep your hands held up, hands soft, so that when the ball does touch your palms, you can grasp the ball, give it a big hug to make sure that it stays in your hands.
Launch speed angle
Here
again.
we can see a clear
Old school funk music.
Yeah, I'm kind of. I like this.
Bass line.
Yo, is that new? I love that. All right, welcome back from break, everybody. We have the man, the myth, and the legend himself, Darrell Owens,
B.O.
founder and owner of Legacy Maker Sports. How are you doing today, my man?
It's a nice day. I'm happy. I can't complain.
So, obviously, you know, what you do, you know, maybe not play sports, but with having the network and doing play-by-play yourself, you are directly involved with everything that happens on a game day. So that is why you are here today. So I guess the first question that we got to ask, man, is why and how did Legacy Maker Sports come to be, man?
Okay, so back in 2016, it technically started off as a podcast, and myself and Jay Quimby started a podcast back in November of 2016. Kind of got into that, and we were with another organization called WBLZ Sports, who had a podcasting network, which had some really, really good, talented podcasters that a lot of them have went their separate ways from that, you know, network, but they've done really good things along the way. And so we were a part of that engine for the first like 7 months or almost a total year. And about July of that year, I brainstormed and said, you know, I like what we're doing here, but I wanted to do more. And I wanted to kind of branch out, do a little bit more, but kind of attack things in the Virginia area because, you know, that they were kind of going all around, and I wanted something that could, you know, really open up the door here in Virginia. And, you know, and talking with my partner, Jay, you know, I said, Jay, look, I think this is something that we can, you know, that we can do. And I really want to try to open this thing up and do articles and do videos and really take another step. You know, we tried things with them. We wanted to continue to do things with them, and they told us no, and they felt like it was a conflict of interest, even though I was still trying to give them content from, you know, stuff that we were doing. And I said, it's okay. I understood it, you know, and so we moved on. But there were some great people over there overall, and I learned a lot from them, and it helped me kind of put this, you know, put this together. So, you know, it was something that we wanted to be able to try to grow and also try to help, you know, just try to help people in the industry that want to get that opportunity, you know, and maybe if they can't get it from ESPN or they can't go to CBS Sports or Fox or whatever, maybe we could give them an opportunity to get to that point, or, you know, while helping the network grow in the process.
Absolutely. So like, I mean, ultimately, like, what was your hope when you founded this network? Like, obviously, like, being a part of it myself, like, just watching it from even when I started. I mean, we've like as a network, like it has grown so much. And so like, what was your hope when you founded it? And has it lived up to those expectations? And where could you see it go in the future?
I feel like every year we've taken a bigger step. I feel like every year we've taken a bigger step. Things have gotten better each year. Something big happens each year. We grow each year. We bring in people that do amazing things each year. And so it's been one of those things where when we first started, my goal was, like I said earlier, just to kind of help people grow. And that's why we call it legacy maker, legacy maker. It's like helping people make their legacy. And when I was younger, I don't know, I was always locked in the word legacy for some reason, or the word legend, maybe not calling myself a legend. I mean, I said it jokingly, but I always said it jokingly, the little arrogance that I, do have from time to time. When I was younger, I'd be like, oh, I'm a legend in my own mind. I used to say crazy stuff like that, but I meant it more than, it's like, hey, I'm the person that can build my legacy. I'm the person that can make my legacy what it is. I want people down the road to say, well, that guy was so and so and so and so. Well, hopefully good things. That's what I'm that's what I was hoping for out of it. And so for me, I felt like, all right, what would be a good name for this network? Because that was kind of I knew I wanted legacy in there somewhere. And I threw across a couple of things at first, legacy builder network, legacy something, and legends entertainment. It was all types of stuff. But for some reason, legacy maker just popped in my head, and I said, it's perfect. We want to build legacies. We want to help people make their legacy where they wanted to be in the sports industry. So for me, that's kind of how that part came along. But I also feel that we are primed to make a really big step here soon. And it's been almost a 7. We'll be 7 in August. And each year, the time is moving so fast. You're like, all right, we're getting closer. Every year it feels a little bit closer, but I feel like we're getting there, and I'm very happy with my team and with all the hard work everybody has been putting up.
So, what's the biggest legacy you've made so far?
Ooh.
And I mean, it's obviously us. I just want you to praise us.
I mean, well, by far. I mean, if it's not you guys, I don't know where else is going to go there. I'll be honest with you. We've had a couple people do some big things, and I'm super duper proud of them. When we had one young lady that was with us for a little while, she works for the Houston Rockets now, and we had another gentleman who did stuff for us. He went on to work for the Commanders and then left, and he does stuff for the Draft Network, which is a big NFL scouting thing. So we've had some people make some big leaps. I mean,
that's awesome.
It's cool because I've seen people do some really good things throughout. Heck, I mean, look at Joey. Joey's been out here killing it. Him and Katie. I'm so proud of them. I mean, they have conquered the south western part of the state, and they just out there doing their daggone thing. And so, I got Christina down in Florida, who's got the Magic and the Jaguars, and it's just so many different people, playing their part to make things work. So it's been really, really cool, man. It's been really cool.
And when did you realize that you wanted to be a legacy maker for a living? Like, were you like running around or like in elementary school?
I don't know if elementary school was the exact time. I think it kind of hit me probably after I did Walmart commercials, because a lot of people every time they say like I've seen you somewhere before. A lot of people don't know that I did commercials for Walmart for years, and I think being able to entertain people or be entertaining to people or make people laugh or make people call me names, which happened also a lot too. but I think that part of it, I think that's where I kind of, maybe when I was like 25, 26. And I wanted to go to school for mass communications. And I'm like, man, but I like seeing people do well. It was always one of my things that, I love to see people take that extra step to do something and be happy doing what they're doing. And so I think that's kind of where it came in. Like, I want to be a legacy maker. I want to help people achieve their legacies where they want it. So yeah, I said, bro, like, I'm going to go with 25.
So, I mean, even with Legacy Maker, I mean, you do a ton of play-by-play, through Legacy Maker, but you've also done a little dabbling and a little ESPN action. Just a little bit, just a little sprinkle. Like, I gotta know, like, what's your favorite sport to call?
Don't mind the OJ gloves, but I'm just saying, y'all, I'm free. I'm innocent. My favorite sport to call, and it's tough because I love football and I love love baseball, love basketball, love those sports. I love all of them. I think, and it's tough because most people probably think, oh, it's football, but I think I enjoy calling basketball just a little bit more. Because it's a little bit more fast paced. Yeah, I felt like if I ever got good enough to like really do hockey, I think I could really enjoy hockey because of the fast pace, but I don't think I can talk as fast as those guys do, and they just make it sound so smooth. I'm not there yet. Maybe in due time, but
those guys go like,
yeah.
Okay. I know we're friends with them, but shout out to Mitch Stewart of the Roanoke Rail Yard Dogs, because that guy sounds like an auctioneer sometimes when he's calling games.
Hey, don't drive through the goal.
Exactly.
I'm not
fires off.
I'm getting tongue tied. That's why I say I'm not there for that. I'm not ready for that yet. I'm not there. Basketball is just my pace. Basketball is just my pace. So I think basketball is it for me. That's my favorite one. I love football though. Like basketball and football are right there beside each other. Obviously, baseball. I love baseball. Baseball's a little bit of a slower, more seductive type of play-by-play. But I mean, any of those sports I'll do. But basketball is kind of the one that I tend to kind of gravitate a little bit.
Yeah, it's got a good pace to it. Like that's one of my things with football is like, what is it, like 13 minutes of action? I think is I will always get the name of that documentary wrong. But in a football game, there's only, when you look at it, there's only a couple of minutes of actual action. I get a lot of the game is in the preparation for the plays, but yeah, no, I definitely get what you're talking about the pace.
Yeah, and then out of that 13 minutes, you add about another 5 for Taylor Swift.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to have Taylor in there. If you're a Packers fan, we were screaming for Simone Biles, even though we only got her at the beginning of the game, and that was it. We didn't get nothing else after that. We'll see how next year goes, right?
Hey, yo. So obviously, you just alluded to it, and you've got a ton of stuff in the background. We know you're a Packers fan, right? So some of the other people on this show, Ixtay, the person hiding in the background right now, prefers teams that wear purple and gold rather than green and gold. And then, so like, why the Packers? Like, I mean, being from a Virginia guy, like you would think like Commanders is probably the first one, or even Carolina Panthers.
Right.
Like, how the Packers?
So, all right, this story is. I tell people this story, they're like, "What? Okay." All right. So I was probably about, like 7 or 6 years old, but probably about 7 or 8, and it was about 91, 92. It's right around the Favre time. I saw that Green Bay Slackers. How dare you? But I expect that from the Vikings. That's okay. That is okay. But with that being said, I think we were. I think I was about 6 or 7, and my brother played high school football at the time. He was really good at high school football, and I'm 7 or 6. So like TV comes on, there's a team wearing green and gold, which is our team wearing green and gold, which is our my high school team's colors. So like they were playing, and I told my brother, I'm like, he came home one day, I said, "Bro, I saw you on TV." He was like, "What are you talking about?" And I was like, "I saw you on TV today. Like I saw you out there playing football today." He's like, "No, you didn't." I said, "No," and I explained it to him. I was trying. I was like, "I saw this number. I saw that number. I saw you." He said, "Bro, that's not me. That's the Green Bay Packers." And he's like, "That's not who that is." And I said, "Really?" He said, "No, that's the Green Bay Packers. They're a football team in Wisconsin. That's who they are." And then I just started watching them each week because of the colors. And then Sterling Sharp became my favorite player of all time, and my favorite Packer of all time for sure. And that's how it happened. So 30, I don't know, 30, I'm subtracting, go back a little bit. What am I, 33 years now. 33 years now.
You and I, it sounds like you and I are the same age. I had the same thing with the Buffalo Bills because we had a black and white TV, and they always their uniforms always showed up as black, and I like the black uniforms. That's my team.
I appreciate getting the pass with Sharp. I do. That's my dude right there, man. And everybody's like, oh, Shannon Sharp. I'm not Shannon, Sterling. You know, and that's the older brother, the one that should be a Hall of Famer. I just throw that out there.
Yeah, you even said that. I was like, did he mean Shannon? Like,
not Club Shay Shay, not Uncle Shay Shay. The one that's in the background. That's my favorite Sharp. You know.
No, yeah, like it's funny because like I relate in a way because that's really how I became a fan of the Chicago Cubs. Because growing up, like they would play on WGN and we didn't have cable. So like, that's what's on TV. And so you
that's what you go with.
You grow up and you got, you can watch players like Sammy Sosa play on TV and hit a home run every other at bat. And then, like it makes for good TV. Like as a little kid, you want to see a homer, so.
Yeah, Sammy Sosa. Sammy Sosa was the guy. I mean, Sammy's out there knocking dingers.
I have thousands of channels to look through. I'm not quite old enough where they play the national anthem at 11 o'clock and shut the TV stations down. But
Operation Shutdown. Everybody trying to go to sleep.
Right.
I'm not there yet neither. I was a early, early 90s. So we were in the cusp of when TV was starting to like really explode.
Yeah.
Like it was like, wait a minute, it's about to take
off.
Yeah, it's about to really take off. So it's funny because all of my sports teams, I have like a weird story on how they became my sports team. So I'll go real quick through them. Because people like, I didn't realize until like 4 or 5 years ago that I had a favorite team in each time zone. And it didn't click until like a couple years. I said, wait a minute, I got a favorite team in each time. I didn't realize it. So when I was a kid, big Seattle Mariners fan because of Ken Griffey Jr. They haven't treated me well since. I mean, they gave me a playoff year before last. They gave me something to smile about. And I'm like, all right, whatever. But I became a Mariners fan because of that, and they 20-year drought. I mean, I guess one of my teams had to suck. I mean, just one of them. And so Seattle, because of that, I became a Colorado Avalanche fan because of NHL 94. I was playing NHL 94. The only team I played with on there were the Quebec Nordiques. Nobody else, not a soul. And it's funny, the reason why I picked them, because they started with a Q. This is kid logic, So I picked them because they started with a Q. And I said, all right, cool. And I never played with anybody else. I looted players. And when the new game came out, Quebec wasn't there. I'm like, yo, what happened to Quebec?
What am I going to beat up on now?
I was like, well, what? I was so mad. And then I found out that they moved to Denver and they were the Avalanche. So that's how I became a Colorado Avalanche fan.
I remember when that happened. Like, weren't they holding contests to see who could name that team when they moved there?
I believe so.
Yeah,
I believe so.
That was happening.
Yeah, that was the reason how I became there. And then I'm a Miami Heat fan because of Alonzo Mourning. Alonzo Mourning was my guy. He was from Virginia. I didn't want to be a Jordan fan. I didn't want to be like that. Oh, let me just pick the best team in the league fan. So I went that route, and that's how I became a Heat fan. And not because of LeBron James, people, because of Alonzo Mourning.
Shaq played for the. Did Shaq play for the Heat?
Yes, when they won their first championship, Shaq was there. Yep.
And that's what the other day when we were talking, and I told you I thought Orlando Magic changed their name. It's because Shaq moved. And I know Shaq was the T. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's great.
The Heat.
Now they changed their name. That's great. Oh man, that's great.
I will say it is pretty cool. All of the talent that comes out of Virginia because. Me and Chris were talking about it. Like he went to the same
middle school and high school as Tiki and Rondé Barber. They held every freaking record in wrestling and track and all that. Like, just stop beating them.
It's like, y'all got anything else y'all can do? No, we're gonna keep being great.
And then I went to military academy. I went to 2 military academies. Like Hargrave was Vinny Testaverde and some other baseball players, and then Fork Union was Eddie George and. Whole bunch of others. There's just so many that you just every now and then would just show up on campus.
And then JJ Redick as well.
Oh yeah, I actually graduated with JJ Redick. Oh yeah, I forgot.
Oh, you graduated with JJ Redick and forgot like that guy. He's on ESPN.
Well, catch up to him. I mean, we're on our way to 2 million subscribers. So.
Oh yeah. We'll get there eventually. Yeah.
We're getting there. He's gonna be ready for it. And then y'all can have a reunion, Chris. It'll be like, oh my God, it's been so long, JJ. It's gonna be like, Chris, you got a sports show now? Yes, yes, I have a sports show.
He's unofficially become my benchmark. Like, we need to become bigger than that show.
Do we need to become bigger than JJ?
Hey, there's a start. It's a start.
Hey, we all gotta have goals, and if our goal is to beat JJ Redick, I hope that one day that we do so, and we'll look back on this, and since we'll be bigger than him, we can tag him in this episode and be like, "I told you so." Yeah.
We knew it was coming.
And then we'll have him on the show so we can help the little guy out.
Yeah, because it's only the only fair thing to do. It's the only fair thing to do.
Absolutely.
But to get back to the interview though, I did have a question here. So, for legacy making, what is your training regimen like, and do you have any tips for beginning legacy makers out there? So,
that's a good one. I think I would say that if you're in hopes of being a legacy maker, your goal would be to try to the people that you run into that you want to help be legacy makers themselves, just kind of guide them in the path of being open to what other people are trying to do to an extent, but also try to help them whatever their specific goals are. Maybe try to help enhance those goals the best way you can. But I think the biggest thing is just being trying to have a good way of communicating with them to the most part, and I think that way you can become a legacy maker. I just think you have to be. I don't know how to answer this question. This is but I will say I think that it's just more of a I think it's part about being who you are, one, and just being able to find a way to help those people grow. Is what I would say. If you're trying to help somebody out, help them grow in their goals the best way they can, and I think that way. You can prevent forest fires. I mean, be a legacy maker.
I was wondering how you were going to finish that. Oh, that was legendary. Oh, my God.
Yeah, so we'll go that route.
So, as the reigning legacy-making champ, what's next for
you? Who's next for me?
What's next for you? I mean, you're already at the top of the game.
Look, I want to keep the championship as long as I can and can keep it. I hold on. Let me pull out the championship. So
he's got the power.
I feel like that if I'm going to be the legacy maker champion, I have to be able to hold this title and treat it with love and respect, and do my best to be the best legacy maker that any man could be. And so that's my goal, like if I can help people legacy make, then I know that I've done my job to be the legacy maker champion of the world. And it's a hard title to have, but I promise all the legacy makers out there and the legacy maker maniacs out there that I will do whatever it takes to continue legacy making for not just myself, but for you.
I couldn't imagine a better legacy making champ.
Honestly, he totally owned that. Oh my God. That was epic. That was so much more than I thought that it was gonna be. I did not expect him to pull out the championship belt.
I got 7 of them.
For those of you that are only listening on the podcast, we are actually on YouTube. You can watch that. Oh, that was epic.
That was such a great moment. Wow. Oh Lord, man! I don't even know how to continue after that. But, okay, all right. Well, I guess let's go into something fun,
yeah, as opposed to the rest of that.
Yeah, opposed to the rest of that. Oh yeah, that was. Oh God. Wow.
Take a little break to press ourselves.
So what superstitions or traditions do you have? Covering sports, or when if you played sports, what are some of your favorites that you've got in the tank?
Superstitions. All right, so I got a couple. I'll give you one from high school first. And my basketball coach used to give me grief for this. So I'm when I was younger, I had a medicine bottle that I put like, I don't know, like 15 different lotions in. And so before each game, I would be like, I need some Action Jackson lotion to put on my legs. And this is the first time I told anybody this, but I would do it, and I would go around the locker room and be like, hey, you guys want some Action Jackson lotion? Like, it's Action Jackson lotion. It's gonna help you play better. Some of my teammates would be like, oh, okay, I'll try something. And then, so I used to do every game because I didn't want my leg. First of all, I didn't want to be ashy on the court. Like, people are going to see it from the distance. But it was just, my mom always taught me, God rest her soul, you can't go out there being ashy. You can't have bad knees. Knees can't look bad. So I always, always had those on. I had knee braces because, I had tendonitis. So they was like, I used to call it PED, Patrick Ewing disease. So I'd have that on, and I put the Action Jackson lotion on, and that was supposed to make me play better. Well, one game, I don't know. I think one game I'm out here, the ball's all over the place. I get in rebounds, the balls are slipping out of my hand. And in the first half, but I mean, I still scored. I had a pretty decent game scoring wise. I get into the locker room and my coach goes nuts. If you didn't put all that goddamn Action Jackson lotion on, maybe you could grab a rebound. I'm over in the corner like, and so I'm in the corner like, I'm sorry. Like, so after that, I had to kind of calm down on the Action Jackson. But that was something I did every basketball game. And I did every basketball game was my Action Jackson lotion. So now for sporting events now, I don't have the Action Jackson lotion anymore. But, shout out to Carl Weathers, God rest his soul. Action Jackson himself. That's kind of where I got it from. But I was for me now, I think one of the traditions that I kind of do as more of just a regimen of just trying to make sure I don't like leave anything when I go to events, or make sure that I'm prepared. Usually I have to carry a lot of equipment. I have the cameras, the video cameras, the photography cameras, the cords and everything like that. So I go through my checklist first of all, just to make sure I have everything, stands, all that good stuff, just trying to make sure that I have all of that. So that's probably the most thing that I try to keep going the most right now. But each event, it has a different, a different thing to it. I may go different style. I may go for a pregame. I may do this. I may do that. And for me, so I just try to keep that in line. I know that one other thing that I do, and it's small, but it's the only thing I can really think of besides this, is like every time they do the national anthem, I hit them with the at the end of and I do it, and no matter every sporting event, no matter what, I always hit them with the cross, boom, hit it in the air, and it's like my Sammy Sosa moment or something. So like, speaking of Sammy Sosa from earlier, it's like that's my tradition every national anthem.
So instead of T-bowing, is it going to be D-owing?
Yeah, I'm good with that. If you want to D-O, D-O.
It's funny that you said that, because my tradition, and it's been this way since I played baseball, was at the end of the national anthem. And, when I played baseball, it was anytime I touched home plate, you would do the clap, the fist bump, and then you point at the sky. So I still do that to this day at the end of the national anthem. It's,
I mean, it's look, I've been doing it since I was a kid. So it's the, and it kiss again and go up. I don't know why I do it. It just happened one day, and I just been doing it ever since. I know people probably be like, "What is he doing? Like, he's not even playing the game." And this is I could be doing the broadcast, and I'm like, "See, you commentate, man. Well, you're not about to play." It is what it is.
in the old cartoons, like when the boxers on, they'd be like doing that thing. And so I would do that every now and then until I realized it made me look like I was doing coke. Like I was like.
It's like, my man is feeling it. Watch out. It's hilarious.
Oh, Lord. Okay. All right. Just a couple more. And this one's more for me because I'm very food motivated.
Yes, he does.
And most people, most stadiums, they provide the press a meal, right?
Most.
So like I am curious, just for myself, obviously, and what stadium serves the best food? I just gotta know.
So in my journey so far, the last couple of years I've been blessed through Bowie Television, who we air some of our shows on there, and in some of the travels, I think the two stadiums I thought that had some really good food, the New York Jets/Giants. They have one of the meanest omelets that I've ever had at a press event. You go there in the morning, and I remember I went in October. When I went in October, I didn't know nothing about the omelet, and my teammate Candy Waller, she said, "Hey, Darrell, you got to come to the press box and get one of these omelets." Sometimes, so they treat.
That's a random call.
It's a weird thing because what happened is when you're a photographer, and I think Katie can maybe attest to this a little bit. When you're a photographer, they don't give you the same food sometimes that you get upstairs, depending on where you are. So, like the photographer food sometimes will be like, here's some nuts and some Cheez-Its and a soda, and you go up to the press box and they got filet mignon. And I'm like, what is this? Like, but I've been on both
class and coach.
Right. So I've been on both sides, so I know how it is. But anyway. Usually it's like that. And so they'll maybe give you something a little less. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. So I went upstairs, omelet was off the chain. And then the guy gave me, like, it was like going to a gourmet restaurant. He was up there, he's shoveling. He's like, so how's life treating you? And he's flipping around, having a great conversation. So when I went back in December for the Jets game, I said, look, they got to have omelets today. It's Christmas Eve, man. Like they got to have omelets. And so right. So I'm thinking I got to go upstairs to get omelets, man. I went in the press room and they had the omelets in there, and I'm like, oh yeah. And they had all the fixings there. You pick whatever you want in there, spinach, bacon, whatever you wanted in there. They had it there. And these ladies, shout out to the ladies, they were out there giving them. I mean, they were making these omelets. They were going to work. They were doing their thing. So that's one. Secondly, and I know there's a lot of people that don't like this team, but they did a really good job, and that's the Dallas Cowboys. I went to Dallas, and Dallas had some really good food in there, macaroni and cheese, all this stuff. They had a candy wall. It was like a theater-sized candy wall, and all I could think about was, oh shoot, I need snacks for the plane. I just started grabbing stuff. I'm like, all right, let me go grab what I can. So I'm over here grabbing everything that I can. So they did a really good job. And the other one would be Denver, because Denver also had a really nice candy wall, and they had like gourmet pizza. So those are the three spots that I've been to so far that are pretty good. I'm excited about New Orleans next year. I go twice. So I've been to New Orleans before, and I'm hoping they live up to expectations, because their food is usually good when I've been there.
Well, hold on. Didn't they rebuilt the Superdome after Katrina, right? They got a new.
Well, they renovated the absolute snot.
They renovated it. Okay.
Yeah, it's still the same building. But yeah, I mean, shout out to MetLife Stadium. Shout out to Jerry World and AT&T Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Those are.
You're such a nerd. You just know the stadium.
I know a lot of stadium names. So like we talked about it earlier in the show, but like I went on a rant about how the Oakland Athletics are crap because they still don't have a stadium. Because like I'm a huge like that's like my like I don't want to say hobby, but like that's my rabbit hole that I always go down is the like stadiums and architecture and things like that.
Right.
I find it very interesting.
There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
So last question before we head over to commercial break. Because this is by far the most important question of the entire night. What's your favorite mascot, and why is it the Hokey Bird?
Why is it not the Trash Pandas?
First of all, Trash Panda is amazing. Let's go ahead and throw that out there first. Ever since I saw that movie and he called Homeboy a Trash Panda, that's my favorite part of that movie is when he called.
Man, I got my own Trash Panda circles.
Yeah. Hey, look, I got them too. You can't see them well because of this 4K. They're in there. So it's not gonna be the Hokey Bird because you already know why. Wahoo in the building. And we haven't been good in a lot of stuff other than basketball. So I mean, I'm gonna go with a tie between the Cavalier and the Moose for the Mariners. And what I'm about to say, I probably shouldn't even say.
Moose for the Mariners?
Yeah, the Seattle Mariners have a moose for their mascot. It's epic.
So yeah, and I don't. I've never seen the Packers. I don't think they got a mascot, and I don't think the Avalanche that I know of, they probably have one, but I've never really seen it. I will say this. I'm gonna tell you a mascot that makes me upset, and I have a mascot that makes me upset, and that's the Commanders mascot, Captain, Major Tutty, aka I call him Captain Oink, because the Commanders, like I may be telling some secrets here, but they have two mascots. They have two people in the suit. They have Tall Tutty. They got Tall Tutty and Tiny Tutty. So during the games, if they having a dance number, it's Tall Tutty. If they're going around kissing the babies, it's Tiny Tutty. Like, so one game, the short Tutty comes by. I'm like, all right, Tutty, whatever. Next thing you know, I turn around and the mascot's taller than me. I'm like, all right, now I know they didn't get a knee implant like within 5 minutes to be taller than me. So I started noticing that they had two different people. But yeah, Tall Tutty dances. Tiny Tutty is shaking babies and kissing babies.
Is it one suit? So like when the small guy's in it, it's just like the skin's hanging off of him?
It's weird that when the small person's in it, they can't keep their pants up.
Right. I'm saying, like, it's just falling off of him.
It's the craziest thing because I remember the first game that they brought him out. I was in the tunnel before they walked out and I recorded it and you just see him do the shuffle trying to keep his pants up and it's like, and then they ran out there and I'm like, okay, they've got to do better than that. And then Tall Tutty gets out there and Tall Tutty's out there strutting, pop locking. I'm like, okay, this is insane that they have two people in the mascot, but yeah, Tall Tutty dances, Tiny Tutty is kissing babies and shaking hands and all that fun stuff. So
that's funny. I'm gonna watch out for that. Like, watch around
right?
Skin and clue falling off this guy.
Well, it's funny. The person who plays the hokey bird at the basketball games is not quite tall enough for because the feathers on the hokey bird mascot, it's like a backpack.
Oh yeah.
And so they never like tighten it enough, and so it's like hanging off.
Oh my god.
Like...
That's not good. That's not good.
Oh man. Anyways, we're gonna head to break. This was a great interview.
Oh, God,
when we come back, we're gonna be ranking a bunch of random sports items that have absolutely nothing to do with each other. Should be a great time. We'll be right back.
We're like, pull on the Slim Jimmer. Oh, shit.
That's great. That's great.
Howdy, everybody.
It's good to see
I'm
you.
Back. I'm back. I'm back. Are y'all ready for a game?
Never, but always.
You know I love playing games. I mean, like mind games, like whatever games you're looking for, we can play them all day.
Time to play the game.
It's game time. Today's game involves some of the most random stuff you've ever done. You ready? What we're doing.
Oh, God.
I scoured for months and years to find 10 random objects from sports. Just generally, like it can be anything. We're talking like the net from a soccer goal.
Okay.
Or the half line marker for a football game, or the half yard. I don't know. Anyway, long story short, I found 10 different things, and what I have to have you guys do, we're gonna rank them, and that's it. That's the game. Congratulations. That's right. We put a lot of thought here at Sportsballogy.
So we're going to we're gonna go through them, and then we'll give our rankings at the end. I think probably the best here.
I already have it ranked for me. I guess the winner is the one who's most close to me. I guess. Like,
Okay.
I guess like I don't know. I didn't come up with a way to win this. Like I just came up. Y'all said 10 items, okay? So here we are. Here are our 10 items. We have player cards that contain a slice of the jersey. Like when you get a football card and it has a piece of the jersey inside of it. We have hockey penalty shootouts. The movie Remember the Titans.
Oh my God.
Andre the Giant. Cleats, just generally. The 7th hole on Cape Kidnappers golf course in New Zealand. Shoeless Joe Jackson.
What?
The 8th bowling pin. So when you set up the 10 pins, pin number 8, it's usually in the back. It should.
The lamest pin.
It's out of like the back 4. It's the second from the right. The horseshoe, like horseshoes in general, good for knocking people out. Don't ask how I know. And Olympic swimming pools.
Like an actual Olympic or just an Olympic?
It's in a, like, I don't know. I assume that's the same thing. I don't.
One that's used at the Olympics or one that's the same size. Are we talking?
Oh, it has to have been Olympic used. I mean, there's no other way.
Man, this is great.
So, and in the meantime, while y'all are ranking these, what I'm gonna do first off is shout out Legacy Maker. Y'all need some good sports stuff. You need some good sports news. You need some good sports statistics. This is a place for you. It's a place to realize what's going on around you in the sports world. Find new sports friends. You know, maybe have a good little sports marriage. Sports babies, if that's what you're doing. Go for it. Sports babies.
This is so distracting.
Why are you not ranking? Don't let me distract you. What are you doing?
Sports babies are insane.
Whatever it's got to be. We're starting off with that. If you need your sports babies, Legacy Maker's got you. Maybe, I don't know. I guess I can't promise that. That's not my company to do that too. But you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
If you have a baby due from us, then by all means, I will gladly.
We'll make sure to tattoo the baby so that the baby is permanently branded with Legacy Sports.
So,
I'm not gonna lie.
I know I'm pregnant, so my baby will be having the Legacy Sports symbol somewhere on their body.
So,
Oh God.
this is kind of like at the Super Bowl. Patrick Stewart told him, throw the child in the Super Bowl commercial.
Yep.
I guess it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just donate your children to Legacy. We can make the Legacy.
Oh man, I don't.
I'm sorry, Darrell. I didn't mean to bring the whole courthouse on you. My bad.
It's all good. I'm trying to figure out this list. The list got me going.
Number 2, because I'm the one filling in while they're supposed to work on this list.
Hey, I got my list.
We're gonna go tell a story. We're gonna tell a story about. Actually, no. I'm gonna share a fun little rabbit hole I got to go down recently. With all of our listeners. All right, listeners. So you want to talk sports? I know we talked earlier about the great sport of cardjutsu. Or cardjitsu. Gosh, I did it again. But one of the other ideas, or one of the other sports I follow pretty heavily is marble racing. Marble racing is pretty intense, right? You get all these little marbles, and the best part is you don't have like previous stuff to go off of. It's not like the marbles, like in their previous race they did really good, so I bet they're gonna do good this time. Like that's not how marbles work. They're inanimate. So I'm not making any official announcements, but I am saying that marbles have a 100 marble elimination race. And we might or might not be doing full coverage. So if y'all like marbles and you like racing, you might want to check that business out because it's going to be amazing.
Like, subscribe.
Shout out the Savage Speeders. The ultimate team. Whoever roots for other teams is just not thinking.
Team Momo, you can Lord his Momo-ness. Lord Momo, thank you.
Team Momo's okay. They're okay, but Savage Speeders, that's the superior team. Mellow Yellow,
like nodding, like he's like, yeah, I totally know.
I think I've actually seen this sport. I've seen this on YouTube one day, and I think they were trying to pick the Super Bowl winner one year, and they were they were going through. Okay, all right, I'm in there.
Yep. Marble Olympics, it's highly recommended if you ever need
marbles with us.
I kid you not, it is genuinely one of the better sports. I'll call it a sports parody technically, but like it's the way they treat it so seriously makes it so fun to watch. Highly recommend.
All right, so I think we're all good. You got yours right?
I don't know how.
I was gonna say, how you doing, Dio?
I'm done. It was a battle. Let's just put it that way. It was a battle. I had to start. I had to start.
Reasoning.
Well, I had to start thinking of like scenarios in my head, like what would make more sense for me. And then, do I like the sport? Do I don't like the sport? I don't know. There's a lot going on in my head.
I do have my rankings.
It's difficult to compare Shoeless Joe Jackson to a bowling pin.
It's the same thing. I mean, come on, like it's sports, you know.
Yeah.
Again, for the record, I was told 10 sports things, and this is just that's all sports stuff. I mean, like.
All right.
Okay.
Who wants to reveal their list first?
Okay, well, let's just go on one by one for. So for the player cards that contain a slice of the jersey, I rank that as number 8. That's kind of cool.
That's fair. I have that in 10th.
You had that as 10th?
Hold on.
It's such a dumb gimmick.
Right?
It's so boring.
Oh, okay, hold on.
Oh, great. Huh?
I did 10 was the best.
Oh, he did his backwards.
I did.
Oh, so that's number 3 for you?
When is number 1 back? Theo, help me out here.
I'm sorry. Look, I don't know.
I'm a musician, so number 10 is like number 1 is the biggest because I think of it like number 1 on the Billboard, for example.
Right.
Well then, yeah, we have this, right? Yeah.
Oh, you're right. I would be an idiot for half of my
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Backwards, bro. We're totally the most prepared show on YouTube.
Professional and all that.
Touche.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay. So I had the player cards listed as my number 2.
Huh.
Damn.
I had it at number 4. Yeah, I had it at number 4.
I don't know why I'm so against it comparatively. I'm just on. It's such a lame gimmick. In my like, oh great, I got like a tiny piece. Actually, now I realize the reason I'm not a big fan of it, but I probably shouldn't get too political. Let's just say it involves a certain former president's suit being in certain cards, and maybe that's what's pulling up bad memories for me. But we'll leave that there.
We'll leave that there.
Okay.
So I will say, so the hockey penalty shootout, since all you got it, that was my number 1.
Me too. Let's go.
Than a hockey shootout. Like, hockey shootouts are so freaking fun.
The
and,
best.
Having covered the rail yard dogs all season, and these, I love you, dogs, but for the love of God, quit playing in overtime.
I mean, this team they don't do nothing but overtime. It is the most insane thing I've ever seen. It's like, they've got to be tired, right?
And they're back into overtime. 19th game this year. Let's go.
It's insane.
Well, what sucks is that they lose. Like, every time it goes into overtime, they lose.
It's crazy.
Lovely.
Anyways. Where did you guys have that one?
I have that as number 2 because I do enjoy that.
I also had it at number 2.
Number 2.
I have a better idea. Let's go through one by one and say in order how you have it. Just because I'll keep track. I got you.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
You want me to
I guess we'll start with Chris. We'll go in order of it is on the screen, I think, just because that'll work.
I redid mine, so my ranks are correct.
Cool.
I'm going to start with number 1. Player cards is 3.
Cool.
Hockey penalty shootouts are 2.
Cool.
Remember the Titans is 4 because I remember we watched that in school one day and we didn't have class for it.
It's a good movie.
I really like Andre the Giant, so he's number 1 in my ranks.
He's my number 2. Yeah, he's amazing.
And then cleats I have as number 5.
I think that's where I have cleats too.
Of Cape Kidnappers Golf Course. Such a weird name. I have that as 7.
For the record, it's beautiful. I know y'all have no context on that, but it is a very beautiful golf course.
I don't know where it got the name. All right. Shoeless Joe Jackson, I have at 10. If anybody wants to know why, you can watch. There's
a whole debate out there.
There's a whole thing about it.
I might or might not be trying to rehash a beef.
Number 8, the 8 bowling pin. I ranked 8. Just seemed fitting, and it's also a jerk. The horseshoes are 7 because they're lucky, and Olympic swimming pool is 6 because that was what was left over.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely fair. Your judgment Impeccable, Chris. Impeccable. You know yourself really well when it comes to ranking these 10 things. That's crazy.
Nobody can rank them for me better than me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Holy crap, that's crazy. Now, for me, we hit like a 40%. Yeah, I'll give you a 40. You get a 40. Good job.
Oh, I thought I forgot that was the objective of the game. I was not concerned with you.
That's fine. That's fine. It don't matter.
All right, I had the hockey penalty shootout as number 1.
Let's go.
That was by far my favorite. Although I do have several cards that have the little jersey piece in it.
I know you do.
Card collection. And so that one's actually number 2 because some of those are really cool.
Can I can see them right behind you. They're all right there, Joe.
That's why he picked them.
Yeah, god dang.
Let's see. Ranked 3rd, I had Andre the Giant.
Absolutely fair.
Yeah. Let's see. Ranked 4th, I had the movie One of the Vikings. I actually love that movie.
Yeah, I do too. I think I had that 4th as well.
5th, I have Olympic swimming pools because the Olympics. Duh, they're fun. I really enjoy them. Michael Phelps is a beast, by the way.
Michael Phelps is a crazy person.
Next, I had Shoeless Joe Jackson. We're just gonna skip past that because we're not gonna rehash the beef because Randy wants it. The 7th hole on Cape Kidnappers golf course was after that. 8th, due to the same logic as Chris, 8th pin and ranked number 8. I just figured it worked. And then I had cleats because whereas I do enjoy cleats, they can get pretty smelly. And then horseshoes because who in the heck plays horseshoes?
Drunk people.
A ton of people. I love horseshoes. Get out. Honestly, we were at an 80. I'm not gonna lie. Like yours and mine is like shockingly close. That being said, there were a bunch switched around. I'm bringing you down to 70. How are you gonna just talk shit on horseshoes like that? That's crazy. that's just rude. Like how?
I don't like this. We need to replace this ref.
Me?
The fix is in. Chris,
please.
I think Chris saying the fix is in. That's crazy.
Please, I invented this sport. You merely walk in the sport. I invented it. As for you, Dio, where are we sitting?
All right, so me and Chris are aligned at number 1. I got Andre the Giant. I'm a big wrestling fan. If you don't know.
I mean, heck yeah.
So Andre the Giant is number 1 for me. I went, hockey penalty shootout for number 2. I mean, because what's more exciting? Yeah. And I don't even know why I picked him for number 3, but I guess because I love baseball. But I went with Shoeless Joe Jackson, despite the scandal. And I just thought,
let's go.
I love baseball. So at number 4, I had a slice of the jersey. I actually have a couple of those slice of the jersey cards too.
No, I do too. I know I have them.
I haven't. I think I got a basketball one. I think I have like 2 of them. One's basketball, one's football.
If it's the right person, that's cool.
Yeah. Number 5, I've got Remember the Titans. Now, I wanted to put this last, but out of respect to Denzel Washington, I put it at 5. And it's funny because Chris said something about watching it in school. Well, I used to substitute, and when I substituted in school back in 2004. And when Remember the Titans was out, I had to watch the first 45 minutes of that movie every other hour for the kids. So it would be like, hey, here's the first. I never got to see I saw it at home, but I never got to see the end of the movie for that whole day unless I actually had the kids the next day and we watched the second half of the movie. So for that amount of time, I had to watch 45 minutes of Remember the Titans. But out of respect to Denzel Washington, I put it at 5.
Denzel Washington, it's a tie between him and Tom Hanks, my favorite actors.
Yeah, most definitely. I can feel you on that. At number 6, I've got the 7th hole because I love golf. And I'm pretty sure it's captivating. So I would like to see that.
Wonderful.
At number 7, I got cleats. And because cleats are cleats. And number 8, I was with y'all on this one. It's the 8th pin. It's number 8.
That 8th bowling pin was named appropriately.
It just has to be there. I got horseshoes at number 9. I don't really hate horseshoes. I think at this time I was like, I don't know where I'm going with it.
See, Joe. That's called tasteful hate.
Yeah, I played horseshoes. I enjoy the game. I'd probably play. Oh God, what do you? Oh shoot, what's? Oh my God, cornhole.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I play.
Cornhole in the, and last, I have Olympic swimming. Why? Because I am the stereotype. I'm black and I cannot swim. So
it's okay. No, I mean it happens.
There's no need for me to even put it in any higher than that, because the first thing I thought about is I don't want to drown. So Olympic swimming is number 10 for me.
I can swim, but I'm with you. I'm very much a land mammal.
I take showers, I clean myself, but when it comes to getting in 4 or 5 foot, anything I pass 3 feet, I'm like, all right, now that's a little suspect.
That goes up,
Yeah. Once you get up here, I'm like, nah, I think I'm good. I think I'm good.
We ain't gotta go further than this.
I think I'm good.
No, I hear that. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, sorry, my cat decided to join us. I gotta say, Dio, I think you won this. Genuinely speaking, outside of 10-1, my rule was you would get a point if your rank was within one of mine, and all of yours did, like literally except for 10-1. And admittedly, I might be the freak on the jersey thing, so I think that's a Dio win. I can't deny that. Like,
I'll take the dub.
Yeah, he stole the 80 right out from under Joe on that one.
Oh, he pulled out the championship belt again.
He said, "What can I say? I'm a sportsman."
Oh,
The champ is here.
whenever that shows up.
Right?
That's great.
Well, speaking of devolving into chaos, this was a great episode. Thanks to our special guest, Darrell Owens.
Hey, do we want to give? Don't you have a regular show that you do on Fridays? We were talking about that earlier.
Oh man, I got a lot going on. We just finished 1-on-1. The season finale of 1-on-1 was a couple weeks ago, and so now we're switching into Legacy on Fire mode. Which, the next episode will have Joey himself on there with myself, James Brown, and Russ Telefero to bring you episode 60 of Legacy on Fire. So that should be a fun one. 3 topics talking about. 3 interesting topics going into sports, and then we get a chance to put out the fire at the end about something that's making you mad in the sports world. So we'll be doing that here soon. And then, of course, we got so many great shows on the network. This show being one of them, and then of course Monster Minutes, and then we have Rob Johnson Sports Show. We got show on top of show. Plus, we got a lot of great art. Check out Joey's articles. He does a phenomenal job. Our man Ty Montgomery, Victor Herrera. I mean, the squad, Russ's graphics. I could go on and on about how everybody's been working so hard on the network. And I know I've missed somebody, so I don't want to say anymore. I don't want to say anything else. I love all my team. I love everybody.
Well, it's been great. If you want to follow Legacy Maker Sports, they are awesome. Check out those links to whatever direction it's on. I'm like very bad at directions.
No, wait, hold on. I was right the first time.
Hold on. Yep. Okay, got it. We'll get it.
Quit that.
And we will see you next time. Thank you.
Goodbye, everybody.
Woo!
You must have quit. If it don't fit, you must have quit.
If it don't fit, you must have quit.
Eyes innocent.
That's the ultimate sports joke right at the end, ain't it?
All right, Chris. Let's try this one more time.